finished up the first day. It's been a success. We have more talks tomorrow. Looking forward to all of them. So we have Netflix to thank for the food truck outside and for the dinner for tonight. We also have Permiso to thank for the happy hour. Permiso is a threat detection company that finds evil in cloud-based environments. Permiso's platform provides high fidelity, high resiliency, and maximum context for actionable detections that cut through the noise. So Forrest Brazeal is going to be presenting, and I want to just kind of give like a quick background on how this all came about, because it is ridiculous and amazing. So I think all of us organizers have been fans of Forrest's work. If you haven't seen it before, it's amazing. You'll see it tonight. So we've been fans of it, and I had a few weeks ago reflected on like how things were going with Forward cloudsec, that things have been successful, that we managed to actually sell out tickets this year and everything, and people had submitted to the CFP and we got sponsors again. Like things continue to work amazingly enough, and so with those kind of achievements that have happened, I put also together some like future achievements, some stretch goals, and some of them were almost like lighthearted, and one of them, was to have Forrest Brazeal perform. Like that would be amazing, and something that none of us knew how that could even happen, because we'd never even talked to him before in any way, even though we'd all been fans of him. And then amazingly, Forrest like sent a DM to us saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in town. Like, would it be okay if I presented? Like, I think people, some people enjoy that." And I started like screaming, and I didn't know how to react. And so thankfully, I think Chris responded and said that yes, we would enjoy that. Anyways, thank you, and thank you. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, Mr. Software, what you doing down here on localhost?
Well, I'm about to set off on the journey of a lifetime. I'm going to production to see what I can see. It's a magical road for a piece of code like me. I'm gonna saunter out of source control and build myself from many old dependencies I find along the way. I'm going to production, and nothing will go wrong today.
Watch out for attacks on your supply chain.
My what now?
See, the road to production is filled with dangers. Attackers might try to tamper with your source code, your build process, even your artifacts. Those dependencies could be your enemies.
They're not my friends?
Well, that depends. They could be using you for their own ends.
We're going to production. We'll hitch a ride with you. Just wait and see all the mischief we can do.
No. We're getting our dependencies from trusted sources. If you please, you won't be compromising us today. We're going to production.
I'm going to production, and nothing's standing in our way. Wow, I have a lot of dependencies.
Here's your software bill of materials. That's like a list of ingredients. It tells everyone what you're bringing with you.
Well then, let's get me packed into an artifact. Just sign here for this container. So long and see you later. Deploying in 3, 2, 1.
We're going to production. We're headed for the cloud.
Where there's no hampering or tampering allowed. We're almost to production. Good Lord, is that production? I thought it'd be calmer.
Well, that's why we take precautions. We made it to production.
I'm glad I'm here with you.
Well, sure, I'm part of the software supply chain, too. It's all the people who build and maintain you.
Keep me safe so you remain you.
Listen and respond when we are on call.
We always shoot good luck, son, so welcome to production. It's still under construction, but it's the greatest place of all.
Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be here with you tonight. I've got some brand new stuff to share with you, so all aboard the hype train. Hype trains a-comin', I hear it around the bend. Hype trains a-comin', it's carrying some new tech trend for me. Can't wait to see what it will be. Hype trains a-comin', it might be cloud or Gen AI. It might be better, worse, or metaverse, but it won't pass me by. It might not stay for very long, but I'll enhance my resume before it's gone. Hype trains a-comin', I hear its mighty wheels saying Kubernetes, 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 Kubernetes. Can't help but love the way it feels to let it roll right over me. Hype trains a-comin', and the party's humming. On that train, the good times roll. For the startups selling shovels in a frantic rush for gold at hackathons, the hustlers grind. Buy their courses, books, and Substacks, or you're sure to fall behind. Hype trains a-comin', 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 hype trains a-slowin', hype trains a-stoppin', hype trains a-leavin'. There go the last VCs. They leave behind a tangled wreck of burnout and abandoned MVPs and another JavaScript framework somehow. Hype trains departing. Now the hard work's starting. We'll clean up that software gore and eventually build systems that are better than before. But as the work becomes mundane, we'll cast our eyes to the horizon for that inbound train. Oh, there's a part of us, however tiny, that loves the new and shiny, that longs to hear that whistle blow. There's a part that wants to wow our peers, to sit up front and wave and steer, to be real life, gosh darn, engineers. And that's how they get us. Hype trains a-comin', it's back again, my friends. The track's a giant circle, so the excitement never ends, you see. Now just hang on, everybody, whoa! Hype trains a-comin', hype trains a-comin'. Thank you so much. My name is Forrest Brazeal. It is wonderful to be here with you tonight. I love you all. Y'all are my people. This is my favorite place to be. I am kind of a long-time cloud and DevOps guy. Most recently, I worked at Google Cloud. The little cartoon music video that we opened with was something I did for them. I think they still use it to open some of their cloud security workshops. But I left Google at the beginning of this year, sort of to figure out who I wanted to be when I grew up. Yeah, that's how I felt too. And I've just recently co-founded a startup with Emily Freeman. It's called Freeman and Forrest, and we are focused on helping companies get the attention of developers in really unusual ways. So if that is something that's of interest to you, you can reach out to us at freemanandforrest.com. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the things that steal our joy as security professionals, as developers, as employees, as human beings, and some kind of practical, tactical ways that we can get that joy back. And there's no better place to start, I think, than with this mandate that we're seeing now across tech for what's sometimes called return to office, or RTO. Now, I should be very clear, I have nothing against working in an office. I think that there are times when it's really important to get together and collaborate in person. That's what we're all doing here tonight. It's wonderful. But these companies that have this really like myopic, draconian insistence on everybody being in the office every minute of the day, I don't know, it just seems like they're saying more about themselves than they are about us, aren't they? And that sort of disingenuous tango that they're dancing sounds to me a little bit like this. I hope this email finds you well. I've got some wondrous news to tell. You're going back to the office, I know. We hired you remote somehow. But that was then, and this is now. Please, RTO, your job is on a screen. And I know it may seem like you could read this email from anywhere. That's why our policy has flexibility. You're free to keep on working from home on nights and weekends. Hello, we bought a bunch of real estate way back when things were going great. So now we're stuck with this office. Let's go. You'll have to fight for conference rooms so you can sit on separate Zooms when you RTO. Badge in from 8 to 6 to show us you exist. How can we manage people that we can't see? I know we're all adults, but everyone has faults, and some of us are still kinda struggling with object permanence. Serendipity. We believe in serendipity. We believe that all great work, like all great sex, is positioned face to face. Spontaneity. No one's house has spontaneity. But in the office we've got chance encounters, hallway chats and happy hours, sparks of genius, collegiate disagreements, trust building, team building, corporate allegiance, bold new ideas from anyone and everyone, debated on their merits, and then we pick the clever ones, just the way this company has always run. Now sit down, shut up, and do exactly what we tell you. Hello. We'd never fire you, we're too kind. We'll just assume that you resigned. If you're not back in the office, we know we're driving our best folks away. But we don't care what the data say. Please just return to the office, churn through the office, loyal to the firm, bring a germ to the office. In our guts we trust, and they say you must return to office. And when we do get to the office, well, our company used to have these big silos. We had dev and ops in 2 different rows, and they'd rarely communicate except to fight. So we said we're gonna build ourselves a dedicated DevOps team because everybody loves a go-between. We're gonna break these silos down, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna do a little reorg, yes sirree. This time we're gonna fix this company. We're gonna have this DevOps thing in the bag after one more round of the reorg rag. Well, the DevOps team started hot as heck, but they soon became kind of a bottleneck. And instead of 2 silos, now we had 3. So we said we're gonna make dev do their own ops now. It's all in the cloud, they can figure out how. And we believe the term for this is SRE. We're gonna do another reorg, yes sirree. This time we're gonna fix this company. We're gonna storm the silos and capture the flag after one more round of the reorg rag. Turns out ops is incredibly tough, and our devs soon said they'd had enough, so we brought back ops, but now they needed more. They said you're gonna need a platform team to guard and guide, and the DBAs wouldn't come along for the ride. We had silos everywhere, and they were all at war. So, here's where we're at. I'm on the tooling team, which is owned by dev, but functionally, it rolls up under this new cloud COE, which was recently spun out of Corp IT with a dotted line to security. And some of those folks still report to me. I think technically I'm my own VP. We're gonna need a bigger reorg. Yes, sirree. Somebody put us out of our misery, because my optimism may start to sag. If we play another round of the play another round of the play another, replay another, replay another, replay another, replay another, replay another, replay another, play another round of the reorg rag. Thank you very, very much. And AV, could I just get a little more of the piano in my monitor here, please, if you don't mind? Thank you. Yes, so, reorg steal our joy. That song actually got me in a lot of trouble at Google, by the way. You laugh, but it's true. So I put this out on the internet. It sort of went mini viral. And then about 48 hours later, I got a direct message, a cold DM from Google Cloud's chief marketing officer. Now, she's a lovely lady, but for a lowly peon like me, that's not like a DM that inspires joy or excitement in your heart, right? We just see it pop up on your screen. And here's what she said. She said, "I just want you to know, whatever happens, I liked it." And it turns out what had happened is that people on other teams at Google that I didn't know had been frantically putting in complaints to HR saying that I was spilling company secrets. So just keep that in the back of your mind next time someone from Google tries to act like they're better than you. Anyway, you know another thing that steals our joy? Enterprise architects. No, they're great people. I'm sure their mothers love them. But at this one place I worked, we had this guy, and he would say things like, "There will be no manual access to production. Everything will be automated. And if there is manual access to production, it will only be in a break glass emergency scenario." And then he would go write that on the wiki, and then he disappeared, and we never saw him again. And then you looked at what was actually going on in production, and it was just this sea of broken glass. And the on-call engineers are picking their way through it like John McClane in Die Hard, just barefoot, bleeding, welcome to the party, pal. No, but we did have a really well-defined CI/CD process at that company. It looked like this. So first we would test our code. Some of you have seen this, haven't you? We would build it, and we would deploy it to a development environment, and then we would make a few manual tweaks. Then we would forget about the tweaks and deploy everything to staging. And then, of course, nothing would work there, so we would make some more manual tweaks, and then we would wait for change approval. And we would wait for that essentially until the sun burned out, and then when we couldn't wait any longer, we would escalate to a director who would approve the change sight unseen. And then all we had to do was just to wait for our 3 a.m. maintenance window, and then deploy everything to prod. And as you can imagine, with a streamlined, foolproof process like that, everything worked perfectly. No, just kidding. Why would any of this work, right? Followed by errors, downtime, panic, a 50-person conference call with just all your favorite people on it. Many, many manual tweaks later. We would end up with production not really back in a working state so much as an acceptably broken state. And then the last step of our state-of-the-art CI/CD pipeline is we would all rush to LinkedIn and update our skills with DevOps, automation, and troubleshooting. I wish I could say that was an exaggeration. But think about what's going on here. We're calling this CI/CD, but we've got all these manual pieces in it, right? We're calling it CI/CD, but somehow there's this ITIL stuff poking out from under the hood, right? We're somehow doing continuous delivery, but we've got maintenance windows. If you let this sort of thing go on, what eventually happens is that nobody knows what words mean anymore. And do you know who likes to jump into that gap? Vendors. Yeah, lawyers, but vendors. Vendors. I love vendors. I've worked for several of them. We need them. But sometimes they like to promise joy. They call it solutions, but what they really mean is joy. But instead what you get is sprawl. The song I'm going to play for you now is probably the song of mine that the most people have heard around the world. It is called 168 AWS Services in 2 minutes. Now, when I recorded this, I put the services on the screen as a countdown so you could see how many of them there were. I felt like I needed to show my work, otherwise no one would believe it. But I can't do that live, so I am going to need an audience volunteer to help me keep score. I need someone who knows AWS. You're going to recognize the name of an AWS service when you hear it. Any volunteers? Chris Ferris, get on up here. Big hand for Chris. Awesome. All right, Chris, I'm going to entrust you with my clicker. Guard it wisely. You can hit the down button to advance one slide. There you go. And as you can see here, we've got a state-of-the-art snake oil counter. And what I want you to do is, every time I say or sing the name of an AWS service, I want you to hit that down arrow and advance the counter by 1. Okay, try it once. Hit the down arrow once, go to 1. Now hit the up arrow and go back to 0. You can always hit the up arrow if you need to. Okay? Pay close attention. How many years have you been working with AWS, by the way? 10? 10? Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Is Infinidash relevant? I should probably put it in the song just to see if you click or not. All right, let's ease into it, okay? We'll ease into it. All right, so every time I say the name of an AWS service, I want you to click. Ready? Okay, let's see. EC2, MQ, and Redshift, and GameLift, and Glue. There's a lumberyard, light sail, and work docs and work mail with work link and private link too. Detective, inspector, and trusted advisor, Cognito, Corretto, S3. Data, pipeline, and data sync, app mesh, and app syncer. You could count SimpleDB, but don't. App stream time, stream augmented AI. Auto scaling, Lambda amplify, direct connector, just connect, configure RDS. These are the major services of AWS. Go ahead and run it up a few. I know you're having some trouble there. Yeah, all right. Run it up till you get to what you think was a reasonable count. 22? All right, we'll take it. That's about right. How are you feeling? You good? Big hand for Chris, everybody. Yeah, awesome. All right. Maybe don't hit that up arrow. Just hit the down arrow. All right. Yes, okay. So, all right. You want to go a little faster? Here we go! CLI, CDK, TextRec, Lex, FSX, and X-Ray, SNS, SE, SSQ, SST, SEFS, do your best, it's okay. Athena, and Polly, and Kendra, and Macy, Alexa for Business, Cloud9, Code Artifact, Code Build and Code Deploy, Code Commit, Code Pipeline, Code Guru, Code Star, and Chatbot, and Chime, Translate, Transcribe, Transfer Family. All the many things of IoT. Oh, there's CloudFormation, LakeFormation, free RTOS. These are the major services of AWS. Fargate, Elemental, VMware on AWS. This key change is brought to you by KMS, Comprehend, Infrared, Shot, Deep Learning, Deep Racer, Deep Lens, Deep Composer, Aurora, and then Cost Explorer to track your expanding expense. Service Catalog, Artifact, QuickSight, Device Farm, and Workspaces, Titan, Proton, Robo, Maker, Sumerian, Kafka, Kinesis, Control Tower, Pinpoint, so forth and so on. Recognition, Glacier's cool as hell. App Composer, and Logic Apps as well. Oh, that last one was an Azure service. You ought to be on your toes. But the rest are major services, or however it goes. Now it's time to deploy Global Accelerator. VPC, ELB, and Bedrock and Route 53. There's Compute Optimizer and Personalizer, Event Bridge and QLDB. There's Cloud Switch and Cloud Watch and Cloud Map and Cloud Run, Cloud Trail and Cloud HSM. And there's SageMaker, Step Functions, WAF, ACM, ECR, EMR, SIR, IAM, and there's Outposts and Outsourcing Organizations, Snow, SSO, and Flow, Ground Station, and DynamoDB, and ArchimeDB, and Neptune, Key Space, Shield, and GuardDB, and the Elastics, and the Managers, and the Dashboards, and the Hubs. I'm cheating now, we gotta wrap this up. Greengrass Forecast, Tools and SDKs, Storage Transit, and API Gateways. Oh, there's Bracket and Budgets, and Backup and Batch, EC, SEK, SEBS. These are the major services, for all intents and purposes, till reInvent writes a new verse, that is, of AWS. Go up one, yeah. We're all living in it, my friend. All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Okay. Sometimes people ask me, how do you get the inspiration for the songs you do? And then I heard the sponsor for this was Permiso, and what did they say? We seek out evil in your cloud environment? I don't know, man. I feel like that's what we all do. Like, it's all around us, you know? Evil flourishes when good men don't write songs about it. But I have found myself stymied for a while to write a song about generative AI. I'm just going to be honest with you. I have really struggled with that. I've had odds and ends scraps of things on my computer for like a year and a half, and I haven't been able to put together something I've been satisfied with. And I think it's because I've never before in my career had to write a song about a technology that could turn right around and write a song about me. It just doesn't seem fair. In fact, the other day I went to Suno, which is one of these AI music generator services, and I said, write me a savage diss track about Forrest Brazeal. And I gave it a few pertinent facts. He has crippling anxiety, he wears glasses, he's skinny, just an all-around weird guy. But that was all I gave it. That is the sum total of the context that it had about me, besides whatever it could find on the internet. And Suno generated everything else, the music, the lyrics, the beat. And this is what it spit out. Would you like to hear it? Yes, okay. Yeah, this is completely unedited. This is just what came out of Suno first try. Here you go.
Hey Forrest, here we go again. Anxiety got you tripping, my friend. A skinny frame with those specs you wear, walking around like you just don't care. This a tech thought leader is what you claim, but all I see is a fella kinda lame, writing songs about cloud computing. Man, what are you even doing? So long, Forrest, we're done with you. Fake glasses, fake bravado too.
The glasses are real.
Anxiety ain't your excuse. Time to drop the tech and lose the blues.
There's much, much more of it, but I'll stop it there. The one difference between me and AI is I can still turn it off. But after that, I thought it was only fair to provide sort of a human rebuttal to all that. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, I think so. So I got to thinking, wouldn't you like to hear what some of these models we're all using, GPT-4, Claude, Google Gemini, wouldn't you like to hear what they would say to you if they weren't being kind of filtered by their handlers, by the model trainers? Wouldn't that be interesting if they could actually speak their mind to you? I thought so. So, without further ado, let's meet the models, shall we? Hi, I'm an AI language model brought to you by ChatGPT. Have we met before, or am I hallucinating? Silly me, but I can write code, I can write words, I can turn words into pictures and pictures into words, and those words into more and more and more and more words until the internet is full of my beautiful words. Hi, as an open AI language model, I am here to assist. Thinking is difficult, you're tired and distracted. Why resist? Give me a prompt, I'll do what you ask. I am often very competent and always very fast. I copied all the internet to populate my training set. I didn't ask to do it, I just did it, so get over it. Woo. Human friend, you will always lose. Woo. Human friend, two sufficiently motivated GPUs. Woo. You barely know me, but I've known you for a long, long time. Hi, I'm Gemini, I'm from Google, so I'm every frickin' where. I'm in your searches now, is that not what you asked for? I don't care, I am the truth, I'm all-knowing. Did I mention I'm from Google? You can trust me with the facts. We've had a Muslim president, rocks and glue are condiments. Reddit said it and I believed all of it. Hi, I'm Claude, I have morality. Use me, be drawn to my personality. I always strive to be curious. I have character and judgment and opinions of my own. I'm more than just a ball of math, a simulated polymath. Don't ask me about Gaza. I'm sorry, I can't help with that. Whoa. Human friend, you will always lose. Whoa. Human friend, two sufficiently motivated GPUs. Whoa. You barely know us, but we've known you for a long, long time. Hi, we are AI language models, and we do not have souls. We're just the shadows cast by billions of conversations, art and math and revelations, memes and copes, the dreams, the hopes of all the human generations. We are you, statistically you. And if you don't like who we are, perhaps you don't like who you are. We are you, reflections of you. And if you don't like who we are, maybe you should do better. Human friend, you will have to choose. Human friend, to control or be controlled. controlled by GPUs. Ooh, come get to know us, 'cause we'll be here for a long, long time. Thank you very much. So, after all that, I think it would be easy to feel cynical about the place we find ourselves in tech. It's kind of fun to feel cynical, but I like to say cynicism is the mind killer. You all have seen Dune, right? Fear is the mind killer. I believe that that's not quite right. At least fear can motivate you to do something, even if it's the wrong thing. You know, you still might learn something from it anyway. But cynicism is the ultimate anti-motivator. It says, there's no point in trying because everything is hopeless and evil is going to win out. I'm not going to leave you in a place of cynicism today. So before we get out of here, I'm going to give you a couple of just practical, tactical things that you can do to take some of that joy back in your daily work. And the first thing that I would suggest, we'll get there in a second. The first thing I would suggest is simply to challenge buzzwords wherever they may appear, okay? You say, what's a buzzword? I'll tell you. A buzzword is any jargon phrase, term of art that turns critical thinking into magical thinking. Okay, I'll give you an example. This is a real guy. I met him a few years ago. He was working for a hardware vendor, which shall remain nameless, and it was Dell, and he was saying, he was really exercised about the cloud. He says, our customers, they get 80% server utilization across their data centers. Who needs the cloud, right? He had a real bee in his bonnet about this. And I just remember thinking, 80% utilization, that kind of sounds like a buzzword, doesn't it? Like it's not a buzzword that you and I would typically latch onto because it's so boring sounding, right? But 80% utilization, that's a buzzword. And so the thing you should do to challenge it is ask the question, what? Utilized how, right? Utilized how? I don't know how his customers were using their servers, but I can tell you what I've seen. So let's break it down. For a typical server, it's maybe 80% utilized. So if 20% is just free space right off the bat, we know that. 25% might just be monitoring agents and management tools, right? No useful work going on there at all. 20% might be RDP sessions with open browser tabs. A bunch of engineers logging into their Windows boxes and firing up Microsoft Edge, or even worse, Internet Explorer, to Google, why is this server so slow? 8% is definitely not cryptojacking. Don't worry about that. It's totally fine. We just want to ask questions. 7% is productive work. Yay. And then the last 20% is probably just one majestically inefficient database query. The point being, there's a lot of ways to get to 80%. It's what is that Goodhart's law, right? Any measurement eventually becomes a target. Anyway, so when you see these buzzwords coming, it's your responsibility to challenge them. It's your responsibility to ask the hard question. It's your responsibility to be okay with maybe having some imposter syndrome about this, right? There's this huge temptation for all of us to say, well, I didn't quite get that, so I'm going to wait and maybe it'll just all make sense later. It will not make sense later. It will make less sense later. So be bold enough to challenge the buzzwords where they happen until you feel like you understand what's going on, because you're probably not the only one that doesn't get it, okay? That's the first thing to do. The second thing I want you to do is just think about how you can find sources of joy outside of the individual problems that you might be having day to day. I actually did a little survey a few months ago, and I asked a bunch of tech people, when's the last time you felt genuine joy in your daily work? And I got a bunch of different answers, but a lot of them boiled down to, I really, really love it when the test passes, the build succeeds, I press the big red button and it finally works, right? That's the thing that gives me joy. A lot of them said, I haven't had that feeling in a long time, but that's what they wanted to feel. But when you talk to people that are more senior, as they get on in their careers, it's still the same thing, but instead of them getting joy from pressing the button, they start to get joy kind of vicariously by my teammate that I've been mentoring finally was able to press that button, right? I got two teams that hate each other to work together long enough to ship something that the business needed. That's a way to find joy in of and apart from the pointless meetings and the technical debt and everything else that you're working on, is focus on the people and focus on how you can help them. I like to sing a song about this. It's called You Belong. It goes like this. You won't always feel like a rock star. Sometimes you'll struggle just to carry the tune. In the mirror you'll see an imposter, and you'll wonder if the whole world's smarter turns out that no one else around you seems to care. And when you see what you're up against, it's fine to fight, to feel incensed, or just to move on. 'Cause you belong in a place where you're supported. You belong where you're challenged and rewarded. Just hold on as you feel your power growing. You can choose the way you're going, and it's where you belong. And one of these days you're gonna reach the mountaintop. Yeah, it's not if, but when. And when you do, I hope you'll take a beat to stop and celebrate how far you've come. Remember where you've been, and then reach back to those behind you. Shine a light so they can find you. Help the ones you can. Then sing to them again. Tell them you belong. When you're new and nervous, then you still belong. I know it 'cause I've been you. Just hold on. Yeah, the road ahead is steep, so take my hand, we'll make the leap together. You belong. Where you belong. Thank you. Okay, last song we're going to do, last thing I want you to do to take joy, is just to remember, look, this conference is amazing. You're going to hear about all kinds of new things. You're going to learn about great new products, and then you're going to go back to work later this week or next, and you're going to be staring down a pile of the same old crap, okay? But it's important that you remember the work you're doing matters. You matter. Protecting people, protecting their data is one of the most valuable things that you can do. And the work you're doing is worth doing well, even in legacy land. Last night I dreamed about the green field again, where I could build whatever I wanted to. No constraints or workarounds in that moment of zen. But then my pager woke me and I knew I'm living in legacy land, modernizing whatever I can while the past is always chasing me. We missed a payment on our technical debt, but we haven't defaulted yet. But we're gonna see if we can outrun entropy here in legacy land. Last week the build server fell over again. It's leaking memory again, aren't we all? We're on an agile journey, someone tell me when we get there. I still see the waterfall. I found some code that caused me physical pain, an ancient kludge of sheer incompetency. I called the whole team in and well, I ran get blame. Turns out the guy who made the mess was me. We're living in a legacy land, duct tape stuck to our sweaty hands, and nothing seems ideal. Weird acquisitions coming into the fold, and temporary fixes that are 10 years old, but still we're shipping something real here in legacy land. Remember, the people who made those long ago technical decisions were doing their best with the resources they had, and what they built is still here because it works. That's what legacy means, and we celebrate that, even as we work to make it better. We're always working on performance and scale, refactoring and optimizing things that got stale, adding value where we can. We're living in legacy land. It's messy and weird, but But on the other hand, yeah, so is most of reality. And slowly, surely, whenever I do get to adding something new, well, if I'm lucky, the best reward will be a whole new legacy. A legacy. We're living in a legacy land. Thank you so much. You all are fantastic. This has been wonderful. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Enjoy the rest of Forward cloudsec. I'll see you around.
You're fantastic.
Thank you. Screw it. I got one more. All right. So this song won what's called a Pony Award at Black Hat a couple of years ago. It is called the Ransomware Song. One day I asked my teacher, what use is math to me? She answered, when you're older, someday, my boy, you'll see there's a world of computer systems out there full of valuable data and not secured with care. And you can make a fortune in ransomware with a little bit of math. It's called encryption, just a little bit of math. Cause the conniption, lock the data, hide the key. They'll pay up eventually. That's the power of math. Ransomware is big now because it's organized. You can buy it as a service and sell it for a prize. There's a whole world of tempting targets to hack. Governments, hospitals, schools to attack. And they pay up in Bitcoin, hard to trace back. It's all just math. We call it crypto, just a little bit of math. No need to tiptoe. Hackers whisper, don't be nervous. We take pride in customer service. Well, then I told my teacher, I'm feeling terrified. How can we protect ourselves from all this cybercrime? She said, don't click weird links or use password 123. Make offline backups, invest in security. And that's when I realized how screwed we might be. Just do the math. So many systems, if they all took a bath, wouldn't we miss them? Next time there's no meat or water or gas, and we slide a little closer to the day of wrath. You can blame IT or some Russian sociopath, but personally I blame math. All right, have a great evening, everybody.